I think we are recording now. So this is going to be the last meeting of this year. So probably the next meeting that we have will be in January. So hello everyone and welcome to the last meeting of 2025. This is the Chaos Asia meeting, which happens at around 8 a.m. IST every other Thursday, as far as possible, as and when the hosts are available. I'm Divya, and I am the regional lead for this chapter. And we have a fairly light agenda to get through because we have had, um, you know, we've had significant amount of agenda items covered in the last meeting, so I am just going to paste the agenda doc here for everyone's reference. That would be helpful because otherwise it's just going to be me talking about something that does not exist for the rest of the people. So the agenda doc goes on the chat right now, and with that, I'm just also going to start sharing the screen um, and going through our stuff today. So yeah, this is a fairly new thing that we're trying out, and we are basically doing this so that more people are familiar with our ways of working and the project. So Timothy, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have to introduce yourself again if that's okay with you.
That's
And
fine.
you can ask any questions about chaos and the project and the chapter itself during
Sure.
that as well.
Okay, so let me just how do you do this? There we go. I've lost oh there we go. Yeah, so my name's Tim. I'm a content and editorial. I do content and editorial at APNIC, which is the regional internet registry for the Asia Pacific region. So we allocate internet number resources like IP addresses and autonomous system numbers. Um, we have a pretty big body of work that is community focused, and while it's not an open source community in the same sense that like a Kubernetes or a open source development community would be. It does, in my experience, seem to have a lot of sort of similar characteristics in terms of how things happen and how things are organized and stuff like that. And so I've known about Chaos for a while from when I was at Red Hat, and now that I am in this other role, I thought, well, community health metrics is something that's like much further along in the open source software development community context. I wonder if there are ways to take some of the work that's been done and knowledge that has been developed and apply them in the context of sort of internet operations community. And so that's why I'm here.
Um, Thank you for that introduction and for taking the pain to reintroduce yourself again. So yeah, so like I said before we started recording, we do have um the concept of the visualization software, and specifically tied to the metrics and the metric models that we've created. We have a working group dedicated to that software. And if there's interest in exploration and potential usage of that software, happy to um, have a bridge sort of form with that working group. This chapter in itself is established so that more people from the Asia Pac time zone can actually come and speak about their various um, challenges or any initiatives that they want to begin with respect to community health and with respect to measuring community health using the metrics and the metric models that we've created. And we have a GitHub repository, which I shall again paste in a bit. But the major function of this chapter is to, um, obviously, it's to be that bridge that I spoke about, but also to ensure that we are spreading the good word about open source within the Asia Pac region itself, because as pretty much anyone on this call can attest, the Asia Pac region can be described, at least the progress in open source in the region can best be described as fragmented, because it's at different levels across different countries within the region, and as a result, the homogeneity that you'd probably experience when you go in the western side of the globe is not really experienced here. And it's a huge continent, right? So the diversity is pretty obvious, so we try and have this meeting so that more people can join in and can actually feel, I mean, have a bridge to the wider working groups or any of the working groups, not just the software one. There are others as well, focused around the sustainable development goals laid down by the UN, and there's stuff around, sorry, metrics and metric models as well. So there's one around diversity and inclusion metrics. So there's a bunch of groups that we already have, and the current chapter is basically a bridge and a way to get connected with other peers in the open source space, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Also, yeah, you just raised your hand, so do you want to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you, Divya, for the introduction of the background and also what we are currently trying to make the Chaos Asia community as not just focused on the community open source software community health perspective, but also as hub to connecting other open source organizations in the Asia region, the APAC region. I think that is also one thing that we are working on. And I raise my hand to I wish that we and also welcome Timothy and thank you for your introduction. And how about Karithana? As a newcomer, also give an introduction about yourself, because Karithana joined in the several meetings, and it was her who proposed that we should have this newcomer welcome committee at the beginning of each meeting.
Yeah, and I didn't see Kirtana coming in. I am so sorry, because I have been sharing my screen, so I couldn't see her coming. Hi, Kirtana, and I'm
Yes.
really glad that you could join after I
Yeah, finally.
mistakenly kicked you out. I'm so sorry about that. There were like 7 bots at the time that you joined, and I was just trying to remove each bot, and unfortunately, I ended up removing you, and I'm so sorry about that. Please go ahead, and I'd love to, love for you to reintroduce yourself.
Actually, that's not a problem. Actually, I kind of felt like if I'm going to be starting at 8 a.m. sharply, I am probably going to be kicked out because I'm a bot, was what I initially thought. So I guess the thoughts actually became true. That's fine. So a bit of introduction about me. I'm Keetana and I love DIA and anything related to free and open source software. And I run this small woman centric community called FOSIA, which is for bringing in underrepresented people to contribute to Indian FOSS ecosystem, and that's pretty much about it. And I really love accessibility and building assistive technologies. So yeah,
And she's one of the reason, by the way, that we have this extra 5 to 10 minutes dedicated to introducing chaos and the Asian chapter. Asian chapter to newcomers. Previously, we just used to run through the agenda. So thank you for suggesting that. Really, um, I'm not sure how helpful or not it is at this point, but I'm hoping come through
yeah,
and have their experiences shared here.
yeah. Actually, when I joined the meeting right in middle, like I was just seeing that there is this small welcome session going on, and it actually feels friendly for someone who's an outsider. To be honest, I mean, I know Chaos Asia, so I know that it's friendly, but for someone who is just joining in middle of a meeting, I think it will give a friendly vibe when we are starting this.
Absolutely.
So I
And
guess it's a good thing that I got kicked out of by the I mean like being mistaken for a bot, and because it gives me an outsider perspective. Maybe everything happens for a good.
maybe. And so we're going to iterate on this in every meeting, thanks to you. And we'll I don't know how great we will be at measuring this, but we'll see over the next couple of months if this does actually have any benefits, and we'll fine tune it based on our experience. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, got it.
All right. So I'm gonna go to our agenda, and since increasing newcomers participation is pretty much covered particular with this particular section. There's one more thing that I believe Roland had suggested around the regular key tasks. One of the things that I genuinely believe is that we are still not doing a great job of introducing ourselves in the newcomers channel, because that's where typically a lot of the folks join in and say hi. They don't directly navigate to Chaos Asia on a whim. So Roland and I have been doing, along with Yaya, of course, we've been constantly welcoming people on there. And one of the things that I suggested earlier on in the year was to have a schedule of a welcoming committee wherein you just had to go and tell people hi on that on that particular Slack channel. It didn't work out well because not a lot of people signed up for it. So I don't know if it would be much more preferable to do it on a voluntary basis, or if y'all would love to have more of a scheduled um, time frame wherein y'all are expected to say hi, because the thing is, there are at least when it was just the three of us doing it, the challenge that we more often than not faced was it would go unread, because this is a purely voluntary effort for a couple of days, and closer to the a lot of the newer folks would miss the next meeting because we were not able to get them to this meeting spot which is more convenient in their time zone. So the idea was to have a dedicated person per week or per 2 weeks or a month, dependent upon the the comfort levels, and have that person take on the responsibility. It's a fairly low hanging fruit. To be very honest with you, it's not that high, so you just need to check the Slack channel for a couple of weeks, for a couple of days in a week, and have yourself, have the newer folks, if they're from APAC, join Chaos Asia and see if they'd be interested in joining our meeting. So I just wanted to run a quick pulse check and see if there is still interest in this effort, or if there are any other suggestions that y'all can come up with. And this doesn't need to be like a thing we decide on right now. Let me be clear. But if there are any suggestions, happy to record them here and see if this is something we can iterate on in the next few meetings or in the next year, sure. Um, y'all can actually suggest if
Uh,
there are any suggestions. Yeah.
Divya, I have a suggestion. I think it actually makes sense to have a dedicated person for doing this rather than like do it on a voluntary basis, because sometimes there is this possibility of missing out on like actually messaging the person or something. So if a person is just going to be handling that task in dedicated manner, I think it will give us a better outreach is what I feel. And I think we should also be like putting a message in the Slack channel right before our meetings. Like the meeting is on Thursday 8 a.m. IST, so we should be putting a message on Wednesday or something, saying that we have a meeting and it's an Indian time zone friendly event or something, because what happens is people have lives and they generally forget that there is a meet going on. So unless and until they see some kind of a reminder, I think that is not going to be solved. And the second thing, I think it might be rooted to this as well. A lot of people who join, who are from Asia Pacific region, are they aren't very active on Slack. So that is something that I don't think we can be tackling. I think this is a greater problem for people who are just joining, exploring. I don't think they are going to be active. So anyone who is like joining chaos community Slack and who's attending meetings are either ones who are like really invested into the community, or people who are willing to look into the analytical side of chaos or something. So for most of the people, I think it's like a hunch that I'm going with. I don't think that they actually remember joining a community. Maybe they would have joined a lot of communities, maybe over Discord and everywhere else scattered. I'm just rambling out in a very loud manner. I'm not sure if I'm fully correct, but that's my uh, take for now.
I No, I don't disagree with you. However, we do post these. We used to post these over the last couple of years, and at least it's been my experience that even if you go up in the messaging chain, there were only like 5 people joining in. Happy to restart that every time we have a meeting. In fact, I used to post once every Monday at 7 a.m. That the agenda doc is open for any sort of inputs. And then again on Thursday at 7 a.m., that is just 1 hour before this, that we again have this sort of meeting coming in. So I noticed that, there were the same 5 people joining in despite the reminders or lack of it. So I did not like continue, because there is no reason for me to actually go forth with the investment of time there. But I'm happy to continue doing that into the next year if that's of interest.
Hi Divya, it's me. Actually, In the last meeting, when you are on the road for travel, and Roland is on the meeting, and we have the similar conversation came out like there. Right now the Chaos Asia community, it has no real. There is not a thing that tied everyone here. So we are just like host this meeting, and for Roland and for Leon, they are maybe the initial thought is to have some networking and learn stuff. That's the initial thoughts, and also to support you for building up a bridge, a community, because it is tough. But if we have no, like, there is not a real same interests that tied everyone together, is like we are sticking to it, but it's really hard to hold on to this to iterate each, even it's already not very frequent meeting, but it's just like it doesn't have an actual continuous
Flow.
yes.
Yeah, so I agree, and that's one of the challenges that I've been grappling with, and it's one of the things that I'm trying to address by providing avenues for people to contribute. However, the challenge still remains that there's not a single thread that we have, like the African chapter, and because the African chapter is way more cohesively organized, since they have a conference around it and they have stuff that works around that. And I've actually even floated this by Elizabeth earlier on, that we should consider having an Asian chaos conference, but it's something that binds them together outside of the community as well, and it helps them work more cohesively towards a thing. And they also have the various groups that they work with. So they have the technical writing group, they have the one that has spearheaded the badging and diversity project. They are also involved in the DE and I space with metrics and metric models. Some of them are responsible for working with other areas of the project. So the thing is, yeah, they are more cohesively working together because of an in-person conference that they all get to come together in and join as like community members as well. However, they also have these various subgroups. Like, for example, one of the subgroups, like I mentioned, was the badging and the diversity project. And in their community calls, which happen, I guess, every month or so, this is the way they structure their calls, is what I have understood, wherein they have these different things discussed, and these different subgroups and initiatives discussed. So we do have stuff around social media management, and we do have stuff around say accessibility and disability stuff. So it's not that we don't have them, but it's just that those aren't kicking off because of the lack of cohesiveness with the wider group, and that cohesiveness is what I'm trying to establish, if that makes sense.
Yes, it is makes sense. All those, I believe there must be some like same interests or the goal that push folks in the Africa group to host ChaosCast meetings, and they have those technical writer groups, but all those stuff, it also requires the investment of time, which is, I believe, but personally for me, I could be just an end user of chaos metrics when I want to know how I can better evaluate projects for the open source projects initiated by my company, or when my company want to use some projects, I choose between two projects, I can use chaos metrics to help me decide which one might be better. But I could just be an end user. I believe that's because I know there is a lot of people in China. They know chaos, they've heard of chaos, but it's not it's not necessary for them to really join the meeting and even invest their time to do a lot of community stuff, because they have a lot of other things. I believe that is the same situation for you.
Yeah.
So yes, I lost my thought.
That's fine.
That's what I want to express is one of my feeling is yeah, I know there we wish like this Chaos Asia conference, because there is not a lot of meeting that happens in a global community. It can actually connect with a global community, but it happens in an Asian friendly time zone. But it seems like that's not a very necessary choice for
I agree.
a lot of people.
I agree. I'm not saying no, but the thing is, for a lot of people who are joining in, it is a lot of the stuff that we're doing is very much tied in. So open source is typically associated with the software aspect of it, and like you correctly identified, to be very honest, a lot of people don't feel the need to contribute back. You can just be an end user, you can just be a consumer and be happy with that. That's typically the mindset that you would assume if um, you were a consumer anyway. It that's what I have noticed. So even while working with say software projects like Kubernetes, or even any other software projects that I'm working with, a lot of the times I've noticed that people who are there to contribute are not there because like they have to contribute to that project. They're there out of their own interest. So to your point, yes, there are going to be people in Asia who say that why actually make the effort to join a call, and why actually make the effort to have this thing wherein have this call even wherein we're just going through agenda items and talking about these initiatives, but it gives people a forum to bring their concerns, and to bring the places where they're coming from in their work life or in their open source life, and see if this project can be a solution. And if you're not getting involved in the project any further in terms of the research aspect, or any of the other website design or kioskcast or whatever, this I think having this thing just to serve as that hub is also fine by me. Primarily because everything's not gonna look the same in my opinion. In fact, metrics and metric models as a working group is being spun down. um,
Yes.
it's the core, it's the core of our project, right? It's the definite core. The entire visualization software works in that, but it's being spun down because there's no one actively working on creating new metrics and metric models. And the standardization effort has also died down as a result, because nobody's really interested in standardizing it either in this case, because in the Western world it's not really necessary for the metrics or the metric models to be standardized. So it's not that everything has to be very similar. Like every call might not be attended, but it's just to have people come and speak about or join and understand how they can get involved in. So even if it is a creation of an open source community database or whatever other things that we think about, it is to help raise each other's profile in the group and to see if there are ways that we can intersperse with the wider group. Does that make sense though?
Yes, it makes sense in some way. Still, I just have the feeling that this is very hard to really drag people in and retain people and really build up a community.
For sure. I mean, open source in general is like that. So I'm not going to blame you if you feel that way about a project that doesn't have any like that has very little software components to it. So in general, the software side of it is exactly the same. So working with multiple open source projects, I can definitely tell you that even in the software side, you face the same issues with retention. You face the same issues with community management that we do here. It's not widely different. It's just that many people don't even prefer to join a meeting, but they might want to contribute in other ways. And if that is their goal, it's definitely one of the ways we can help funnel people into the bigger project, because the person who actually made the open source community database, Saman, he also wants to work for the GSOC project with us next year. So I'm not saying that that's a step up or a plus one to what I'm thinking, but it's the thing that we are giving, we are providing an avenue for people to come and know more
Yeah,
about the project. That is all that we can do, given that we
that is
have
great.
yeah.
I mean, really have a contributor that really help with database and to continue as a GSOC student. That is, I mean that is a really good stuff, and to open up such channel for people um, to provide such chances. I
Yeah,
think that
and
is
even in case of this, there's a call out for people if they want to be involved in other areas such as kiosk cast. Like, I don't know if people are interested, but if y'all want to go ahead and be a part of kiosk cast, that's also something that's open to you. I personally cannot put my hat in because I've way too much on my plate already, but if that's something that somebody else wants to take on, it's an open call to action there. And people can be a part of it. It's not necessary that you need to, how do I say it? You need to have like an affiliation to us. Like, even if you're part of that Slack channel, if you are getting an opportunity to be a podcast host, that's okay by me. You don't need to join the call. But that channel should serve as a hub is the end goal, I guess. That's what I'm looking at.
Mhm. So
Okay.
this meeting is the last meeting of this year.
Yeah,
Is
it is.
that right? Okay.
Yes, it is. It's also because after this, it's December, and starting December 8th, we will not have any meetings, which is the week after the next, which is when our next meeting is. So it's the
Mhm.
holiday break all through December, and then we will have our next meeting in Jan.
So our next meeting will be in general. Okay, if you are interested for the for the next meeting in 2026, if you only if you are interested, I can give a brief like presentation about if you scroll down the agenda,
I
I've
did see your
put-
LLM landscape insights. I definitely
Yes.
would be interested in the presentation. I would recommend keeping it for the second meeting rather than the first meeting, because the first meeting is people coming back from their holidays. So there might not be a lot of people, like fair warning
Yes.
to you. So second meeting would be a better avenue, is what I would recommend. However, if I leave the decision up to you. I do not have any problem if you present it in the first meeting, but just so that we have a larger audience to work with, LLM landscape insights presentation would work better in the second meeting, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
The second meeting would be better. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so we can have that in the second meeting. And again, like all of the stuff that y'all have mentioned and all of the things that y'all have discussed last fortnight when I was in the road, still holds true, I believe, because Roland has not said anything otherwise of the co-chair bits and anything else. So if there's something, um, please reach out to Roland on the Slack channel if you're even watching this recording. Um, there are um, there are opportunities to get involved with the research software side as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. And I have pointed a few people to the open source communities database, and I don't know if there'll be people who come in and help us update that, but if not, I'll take out the time during holidays to do it, and see how we go through. I'm also conscious we are slightly over time. Does anybody have any other updates other than the ones that I've copy pasted here from the last meeting? If y'all have any updates, now would be a great time to say it. Otherwise, we'll meet in the next year. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing from my end.
Thank you. Yeah, anything from your side?
No, nothing from my end. Thank you, Divya, for hosting this.
Thank you for joining
Thanks,
in
Adrian.
today. And I'll see you folks in the next year then. Have a great holiday season. And also wishing you a happy new year in advance.
Happy New Year. See you
Happy
next
New
year.
Year. Thank you.
See you next
See you
year.
next year.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.